7 Dr. Peppers a day, a bag of chips, a large pizza, a dozen donuts, Taco Bell combo, 3 or 4 chocolate bars, and a whole bag of pitas and a whole large spinach dip. We're talking about 1 day of Kyle and I's eating. Losing weight, it's not just a physical thing. It's here and it's here. Fight through it. You can do it. Don't give up. When we were 300 and 400 pounds. I was almost 300 pounds. Kyle was almost 400 pounds. We were eating ourselves basically to death. We were giving ourselves medical problems. Kyle developed diabetes. I developed sleep apnea. I was stopping breathing 7 times a night with my sleep apnea, partially stopping 81 times a night. 81. And we just kept on going. We also started developing knee problems, back problems. Kyle could barely walk because his legs would cramp up all the time. I developed plantar fasciitis in my foot, and it was so bad I could barely walk a couple of feet before needing to sit down or rest. It was so bad, and we didn't care. We just kept going. We could barely bend down to tie our shoes. We couldn't get up the stairs without being out of breath, and anything we ate, it wasn't enough. We just kept needing to eat and eat and eat. I remember a time where I got so depressed that I would drive, literally, there was a plaza where I used to live that had 4 fast food restaurants in it, and I was embarrassed because I didn't want people to think I was eating all that food. So I would go and get a combo at each restaurant, but usually I would get 2. So I would get 2 combos, and I would get 2 drinks so that the people at the counter would think that I was feeding 2 people and not just 1. So I would go and get 2 combos at every restaurant. That's 6 meals, and eat it all in a really fast amount of time. And it wasn't enough. Then I would have to go and I would have to binge again and again. And we just kept doing it to ourselves. And we wanted to share that with you guys because a lot of there's a lot of new people coming in, and some of you might not know where we've been, and we just wanted you to know that we understand where you are or where you were coming from, because we were there. We were at the bottom of the barrel, and we had no idea if we were ever going to get out. We were struggling so bad, and we wanted you to see that you can do it. You can come from driving to 4 fast food restaurants and eating 6 combos to where we are now, 130 pounds each lighter, and no longer binge eating, and able to incorporate treats into your lifestyle. No one else is going to tell you that. No one else is going to be that honest with you and tell you the dark side of weight loss. That stuff where we came from, that is dark stuff, and that's why we get it. That's why you guys relate to us and why we relate to you, because we know where you've been. And yes, sometimes our situation might have been worse than yours, but other times yours might be worse than ours. But what matters is that we know where you've come from. We came from the bottom of the barrel. We were obese. We were barely making it. And if we didn't stop when we stopped, I know deep in my heart that one of us was going to die, because we were literally eating ourselves to death. Now, why we're doing this video is we wanted to share with you the truth about weight loss, because when you're heavy and you're trying to, lose the weight, but you're scared, and so you're going, oh, if I want to lose the weight, I know I need to lose it to be healthier because I have children or because for my job or whatever it is, but I'm going to have to work out. But I'm going to have to hate my food and, eat all these things like kale or whatever it is that you don't like. And I'm never going to be able to eat treats again. And so then you go, oh, screw it. And you go back to doing what you were doing. Kyle and I did that for years, over and over and over again. We did every diet you can imagine, and then we would fall off the wagon because we were not able to sustain that stuff. And I think subconsciously we did the fad diets because subconsciously we knew we would probably fail at them, but it was easier to get on a diet and then use it as an excuse after, knowing that you couldn't sustain that or maintain that for very long. And it was like setting yourself up for failure, basically. So, but what we didn't know was that you don't have to do that. The real truth about weight loss is that everyone makes it so complicated, and it's really simple. And we didn't understand that until we lost most of our weight, and it just clicked. Hey, this isn't as complicated as we used to make it out to be, as what people think. You don't have to force yourself to do something you don't like in exercise. You don't have to force yourself to eat what you don't like, and you don't have to give up treats. And we're standing here before you today, Kyle behind the camera and me here, 130 pounds lighter each. That's a total of 260 pounds. And we did it without a fad diet, without a nutritionist, dietitian, personal trainer, or any diet whatsoever. How did we do it? We changed the portion sizes, we moved our body, drank more water, and incorporated treats sometimes.
Yeah, no starvation diets.
Nope.
And that was one of the biggest things that helped us gain traction finally, is we stopped saying to ourselves that you must remove food from your world, from your diet.
And not only that, but I'm sure you guys can relate to this. No matter what you ate, you always felt guilty for eating. I always did. It didn't matter what I ate, I always felt guilty.
And you know what?
Getting rid of that guilt.
We know, we've been down every diet road you could ever think of. We know psychologically what happens to your brain if you become, let's say you try for weight loss to become a vegan or a vegetarian. Immediately you start craving meat.
Yeah.
That's why you see a lot of vegetarians, all they eat is fake meat because they're denying themselves something. And you see it the same way with people that go on keto, like it's going to fix the world. All they want to do is eat fake bread.
Or keto treats or whatever.
Baked goods that are, faked goods.
That's your choice if you want to try those things. But we are standing here telling you that none of that stuff worked for us.
And let's get real. If you're as morbidly obese as me and Nicole were, you have psychological problems.
Yes.
You are an emotional eater. It has nothing or very, very, very little to do with the food or the diet you choose.
Yeah. If you get weight loss surgery and you don't deal with your emotions, you're gaining the weight back. If you lose weight on a fad diet, but you don't deal with your emotions, you're gaining the weight back.
We've been there too.
If you do what we do and what we've done by portion control, and you don't deal with the emotional stuff, you will gain the weight back. Any way you go about it, you need to deal with your head. You have to get through all the crap. You got to put on your waders and wade through the crap. So let's give you a few things as to how we did that, like Kyle said. First thing, okay? All food is legal. No food is bad. We no longer label food good and bad. All food is allowable. Do not look at any food as healthy, unhealthy, junk, not junk. It's all okay. There are some foods, yes, that you'll want to eat more of than others, but all of it is okay.
It all has a time and a place.
Exactly. Second rule, you do not have to change your food. In the beginning, we realized if we wanted to make this work, we needed to go slow. So we decided to cut the portion sizes of our food and do portions, but not change what we were eating. So we continued to eat pizza, we continued to eat
cereal, ice cream,
but we read the portion sizes on the backs of all of the containers.
So we ate like regular real ice cream, but we changed it from, hey, let's eat a half a cup portion of ice cream instead of 4 or 5 cups.
Yeah, and we would get a small pizza and have a couple of slices. Or one time we went to a restaurant and we got takeout containers right away and put half our food away. And you don't realize that, like, restaurant servings, when you start portioning, you can eat for like 3 days off that.
So immediately that deserves repeating, because that one tip helped us so much. If you go out to eat, because people ask us all the time, but my friends or my coworkers, they want to go out to eat, what do? Immediately when you get your food, when me and Nicole got our food, immediately we portioned it out and we asked for a container, a take-home container immediately from the waiter or waitress, so that we could put the extra food aside to save for another day.
And I remember we went to it was a Chinese restaurant, and we got vegetable fried rice, and it was like huge, and a serving, what we did was a cup of rice, so that there was 6, I think there was
6 servings.
6 servings in there. So Kyle and I both ate off of that for 3 days. We had lunches for 3 days each. So just, you know, measure out your portions, and you'll see results right away. Not even by changing your food. The biggest thing though is you need to start, and we didn't realize this, but this is the truth about weight loss, friends. So the real thing, the down and dirty that you have to do, and I mean, if you want to change and lose weight and keep it off permanently, you gotta do the down and dirty, is start questioning when you start getting cravings, because a lot of people call their cravings, but they don't realize that they're not wanting to deal with something and using food as a medication.
So it's easier to call it a craving.
It's easier to refer to it as a craving, maybe because you haven't identified what that is yet. But generally, yes, people get cravings, we get cravings, but generally, especially if you're an emotional eater and you're in the middle of it, it's usually not a craving. It's your emotional eating calling you to medicate itself by using food. When you've eaten a meal and a couple hours later you're hungry, or most people say they have the biggest problem at night. So if at night you start getting cravings, start questioning yourself. Put a big note on the fridge. Am I hungry? If not, why am I wanting food right now? Why am I wanting to eat? And start thinking about your day or what's going on right now. Are you lonely? Are you tired? Did you have a rough day? Is there some trauma going on in your life? Are you happy? Because it can happen when you're happy too.
And
are you sad?
It might sound silly, but me and Nicole journaled a lot in the beginning, because we actually had to ask ourselves that question: why am I eating thousands of times a day? Because we were eating so much and we were justifying it in so many different ways.
You can come up with any excuse.
Look in the mirror, and it's gonna have to be time for you to be honest with yourself, and journaling really helped, because
it did.
You can't lie. You can put it in your journal. I'm lying to myself right now, but I'm eating because I had a bad day at work. But at least you're acknowledging why. You have to start acknowledging why you're eating.
Exactly. Even if you still eat after that, like Kyle said, the first step is to acknowledge why. Because once you get the whys down, eventually the stopping yourself before you eat, it will come. And another thing, we had notes literally everywhere. I had them on the mirror, on my placemat where I eat, on the cupboard, on the fridge, on the freezer, everywhere that I would check or see before I went for food, there was a note. And the note said, why are you eating? What, are you hungry? If you're not hungry, why? What is the reason? And then, what can I do to stop myself from eating was the next one.
And some of the notes were positive, like, you're worth it, love yourself.
Yes. Another one, sorry to interrupt you, picture of myself as a child, as a toddler, because if you see a picture of a child, and it can even be your own kid if it's not going to work a picture of you or a child, period, anything, something out of a magazine, someone out of a magazine. If you are trying to put yourself down, try to put that picture of the child down. Tell that stuff to the kid, or say, I'm sad right now, so I'm going to stuff you full of food and I'm going to force feed you food until you feel so sick that you're gonna vomit.
These are some of the mental exercises that me and Nicole found that actually worked and kind of jarred our brains out of that negative mindset. It's
a lot harder to tell that to a child, or imagine yourself as a child and force feeding yourself that until you're sick. It's a lot harder to do, and it stops you.
And we're getting real today, so we're being honest with you guys. We had pictures of ourselves as children up. We had sticky notes saying, I love you. We had sticky notes saying, why are you eating?
Friends, I even decorated it with stickers. We bought markers and we made them really colorful so that it would attract our attention and remind us to look. I got these tattoos. This one was my first reminder because it was on my wrist. When you go to put food in your mouth, you automatically see it. This was my reminder to stop and say, Nicole, what are you doing? Why are you eating? Why are you hungry? This one, I can make it through the rain. This was in the middle of my journey, our journey, and this was to remind myself, yeah, you still might mess up every once in a while, you still might binge, but you can make it through. And guess what? I made it through.
We're both here.
And so did Kyle.
We're living proof that no matter how far down you think you've gotten yourself, in only a few short years, like we were two of the worst cases, huge psychological, emotional eating problems, huge physical problems that we caused ourselves through our overeating. And in a few short years, our lives are completely different. We look back on those people and think sometimes that they might have been different people altogether.
Yeah.
But they weren't. They were us, and it's all a part of the journey.
So how we want to sum it up basically is what we had no idea. The meat and potatoes of this video, the truth about weight loss is we didn't know that it's not complicated. You don't have to deny yourself anything. And in order to keep that weight off, which is what we kept forgetting about, was you have to deal with your head. That major part that no other fitness channel on YouTube is going to tell you. You have to deal with your head. You can do all the fancy diets, you can portion control, you can do whatever you want. You can go get weight loss surgery, liposuction, whatever it is that makes you small. But if you don't deal with your head, it's all coming back on. And that is the honest truth. It will come back on. I have seen people get the surgery and get big again because they didn't deal with their head. I have seen people lose weight, including myself and Kyle, and gain it back because we didn't deal with our head. So those are the three major things. And then how you combat it, notes, question yourself, drink your water, portion your food, don't deny yourself any food. All food is on the table. Also,
if you need somebody to hold you accountable, come on the comment section of our videos and tell us, because we always say, like, we read them all. We might not be able to get back to you, but we read them all. At least if there's nobody in your life that can hold you accountable or understands what you're going through, we're here. And you can get that negative energy out or get that positive thought out and put it down somewhere, written down. And it can be anonymous, whatever you want, but just tell somebody and tell us if you have to, and if you want to.
Because we're always there. And we also are on Facebook and we're also on Instagram. And the bonus about Instagram is sometimes we'll go live on Instagram, so you can talk to us live like that and put it in. Or you can just, like Kyle said, if you want to be anonymous, leave it there. And you know what? We have such amazing friends out there that if they see somebody struggling, they always leave a comment to help pick you up too.
You're not alone.
You don't just have us, you have our whole community. The friends out there are there for you. You are not alone. So just know, don't overcomplicate it. Just pick something you love to do and move your body. Choose the food you like, but portion it.
And you can come back from
Yeah.
any state you're in or anywhere you've been. You just have to start getting real with yourself.
Yep. Size 24 I used to be. Now size 8.
4XL guy behind the camera used to be.
And now wearing medium and large pants.
Yeah.
And large shirts. And he never thought he could fit in a large shirt.
And you know the cool thing now, I have to go up to XL sometimes or double XL sometimes, but not because of fat, but because of muscle.
That. So, you are not alone. But no, if you want to lose the weight, you gotta get in your head. Get on your waders and go through the crap and deal with your head. And we're here to help you deal with your
And
head.
sometimes the only way to get out of something is to go right through it and right into it.
It's the best way. It doesn't feel good. But when you're out of it, when you've come through that, it feels good. And just know, again, you're not alone. Hope you enjoyed this.
The foot went up in the air, I didn't catch that.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Or what?
Or what?
Lift up the foot of doom. Let's do it again. That was a knee, really. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.